can make their way to their seats. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. So as the rabbi was beautifully demonstrating, there's some very important clapping that's part of this song that I want you to help us with. So it's going to go like this. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. We're going to try it again. Here we go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. That was great. And now we're going to do a little bit of singing. So you're going to echo me like this. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Sound amazing. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Well, good morning, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So good to be together with you, to celebrate together and to pray and sing and learn together on this beautiful morning as we celebrate the arrival of two new Jewish women into our community, into the midst of their congregation and into their families. Before we begin, a couple notes for how we can get ourselves prepared for our time together this morning. First, I want to make sure that everybody's got a prayer book. They look like this. They're probably in back of the seat in front of you. They go from right to left. They're full of words and prayers and songs that we hope you'll participate in. Our Benot Mitzvah, our leaders of prayer this morning, have spent a long time preparing for this day. The best way that we can support their preparation as leaders of prayer is to be good followers of their prayers. So if y'all can follow along, that will be feel really good to our leaders this morning. I also want to make sure you've taken the time to turn off anything that might ring or buzz or vibrate or disturb you during our time together so that we can be fully present for these two new Jewish women who are leading their congregation in prayer. Lastly, books, check. Cell phones, check. Let's just make sure that we are surrounded by people who we have met. So I'm going to give you about 15 seconds now to turn around and wish a Shabbat Shalom to someone who's sitting near you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So we are going to turn in our prayer books to page 174, where we find this really beautiful prayer about our souls being restored in the morning. And so we're going to begin by warming up our voices. So like Rabbi said, one of your greatest gifts to Hazel and Rebecca this morning is your voices and your spirit. Sometimes it feels like we're here up on a stage performing for you, but actually this is a sacred drama and we are all part of it together. So we're all in this together. So it may be your first time singing along in Hebrew. That might feel uncomfortable, so you can always just sing Yai Lai Lai. You can clap along. We just want you to feel like you can participate with us. So I want to teach you this melody. It's very pretty. It goes like this. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Let's try. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Let's try. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Then back to the beginning part. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. All together, ready? Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. And the last part goes like this. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. So not too tricky. Let's try the whole thing together. Here we go. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Elohai שנתת בי טהורה היא. אלוהי נשמה, שנתת בי טהורה היא. יאללה לילה 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 יאללה לילה.
So if you'll turn now in your books to page 195. As I mentioned this morning, we welcome two new Jewish women into adulthood and into leadership. Rebecca and Hazel, as they enter Jewish adulthood today, will lead us in prayer, will read and teach us Torah, and will assume their position as leaders of their congregation. And so it is a delight for me to invite Rebecca up to the bima to lead us in prayer. She makes her way up, and we are all on page 195. Would you please rise for Baruch Hu? 195.
Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or u'rei hoshech, oseh shalom u'rei et hakol. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a tour of heaven. I have no light to give in this morning. My tour, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeem the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot. We continue responsively on page 199. Page 199. O God, inspiration and guide for all. You have spoken in thousand tones for us to hear in every land and every age. Your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity.
We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel, and joyfully we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose.
May the teaching of our ancestors live in our minds and help in their passion for righteousness stir our hearts and help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai habocher amo Yisrael ba'ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים מצווך Hayom alevavecha. Beshinata avlevaneha. Ready for Tambam. Beshivtecha abevetecha. Uvlektecha avadera. Ushabecha uvkumecha. Ushartam leot alideha. Behayula totafot beineneha. Uvtatam amzuzot betecha uvishareha. Lima antiskerus va'asitem hekomitotai vitem kedoshim leloehem. Ani Adonai Eloheim asher hotzei etietem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim anim Adonai Eloheim. We read together on the bottom of page 203. Sing the song of men and women joining in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children in the generations to come. The song of our land, once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her shoulder is home, to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
And so we turn to page 204 for our Micha Mocha prayer. These are the words the Israelites sang when they reached the other side of the Red Sea after they had escaped slavery in Egypt. And I like to imagine that it might have been a little bit of a scary time. And so knowing that they had each other was really comforting. And so as we sing this version, I want you to echo me. Rebecca's going to help you. Hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, yo, hey, yo.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
Hey, yo, hey, yo.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
Hey, yo, hey, yo.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
Micha mocha,
Micha mocha,
Baili Madonai.
Baali Madonai.
Micha mocha,
Micha mocha,
Nedar Bakodesh.
Ner B'Kodesh.
Nora Tehilot. Nora Tehilot. O Sefele. O Sefele. Hey yo, hey yo.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
Hey yo, hey yo.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
Let us all march together,
Let us all march together,
heading for the promised land.
heading for the promised land.
We all need each other.
We all need each other.
Let us march hand in hand.
Let us march hand in hand.
Sing out loud, raise up your voice.
Sing out loud,
Raise up your voice. For each soul give thanks. For each soul rejoice.
for each soul give thanks, for each soul rejoice.
Hey yo, hey yo.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
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 As Rebecca makes her way to her seat, we're going to tag in Hazel to move into this spot of leadership here at the reader's table with me and the cantor as we make our way toward the next section of our prayer service.
The service continues on pages 205 and 206. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor va'anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imaot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Limon Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'elam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atarav Le'Oshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Givurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit, Umechayel, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'iman atzale achayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol.
The next prayer in our Amidah is called the Kedusha. It is a prayer about the holiness of God. And this prayer offers us an opportunity to feel this holiness with our bodies. And so when we get to the word for holy, which in Hebrew is kadosh, we actually sing that word 3 times. And each time we sing it, we go up on our toes to feel just a little bit holier. And so each time the text is indented, we also go on our toes on Baruch and Yimloch. So I will show you these moments so that we can feel this holiness together as a community. Nikadesh, Nikadesh, Nikadesh et Shemecha ba'olam, Nikadesh et Shemecha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto, Bishmei marom, Kakatuv aliyad nevi'echa, V'karozel ze v'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivot, Melech ha'aretz kevodo, Adir, Adireinu, Adir, Adireinu, Adonai, Adonai, Adoneinu, Ma'adir, Ma'adir Shimecha b'chol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai, כי מלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue at the bottom of page 210 with Vishamru, a prayer about the importance of Shabbat.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things in space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to holiness and time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. We continue responsively by paragraph on page 212. On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call, grant us enough health to fulfill our duties, and the compassion we need to attend to others.
Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves, and the charity to see the best in those around us.
Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you.
We praise you, Adonai, whom alone we serve in reverence.
Baruch atah Adonai she'odcha levarcha be'yira na'avod. We continue at the bottom of the next page. Modim anachnu lach she'ata u Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu leolam va'ed. This prayer is about gratitude. I want to share a creative reflection that is not on the page in front of you. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of the soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustain us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh le'odot. We continue with our prayer for peace, Sim Shalom, on the bottom of page 216. Do I take this?
So actually at the top of page 216, we have these words, sim shalom, make peace in the world. Those are the only Hebrew words we need. Goes like this, sim shalom, sim shalom. Let it begin with me. We're going to try it together with that sim. Here we go. Sim shalom, sim shalom. Let it begin. Let it begin with me. Sim shalom, sim shalom. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Let my life be lived for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace, peace will come. Let it begin with me. We're gonna sing Sim Shalom again. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom. Let it begin. Let it begin with me. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Let my life be lived for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace, peace will come. Let it begin with me.
We'll take a few moments now for our own individual silent prayer. As we move now toward the service for the reading of Torah on this Shabbat morning, I want to invite our Benot Mitzvah back up to the reader's table. Rebecca and Hazel, please come up and join us here. And with them, these members of the generations of their family to assist with the passing of the Torah scroll. I want to invite up Rebecca's parents, Valerie Balke and Bill Balke, and her grandparents, Sheila Goldberg, Mike Goldberg, and Elisa Balke. To pass the Torah to Hazel, I want to invite up her parents, Jennifer Hamburg and Jeremy Sloganwhite, and her grandparents, Ellen Hamburg and Saul Hamburg, as they all make their way up to the bima, and we array ourselves here in front of you. I'll invite the congregation to make our way to page 244 in our prayer books. You'll find there the beginning of our Torah service, page 244.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'en k'ma'asecha, malichutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chodor v'ador. Adonai
people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the word of this Torah, and let their children, who do not yet know it, hear, that they too may revere Adonai your God.
Happy is the one who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding, for its value is greater than silver, its yield than fine gold. It is more precious than rubies, no treasure can match it.
I want to invite these members of our B'nai Mitzvah families to assist with the opening of the doors of the Ark, Sharon Goldberg, Greer Goldberg, and Michael Goldberg, as they make their way up to the bima and we prepare to open the Ark. I'll invite all of you please to rise. Okay, we're going that way. Rebecca and Hazel, today the two of you are the teachers of Torah. You assume a position of leadership and guidance in your community to offer these holy words and what they mean to our people officially as a representative of this holy congregation. But today you are also recipients of Torah. Today you receive the value of these words and the years of tradition and guidance they have offered our people. As these scrolls are passed through the generations of your family, we're reminded of the years and the generations of people who came before, all of whom taught and led and guided, so that today the two of you could be the recipients of this most holy and precious gift.
And so you'll hear the words Lador Vador, which mean from generation to generation. You become the next link of a chain that goes all the way back through your beautiful families to Abraham and Sarah, and we are so proud of you this morning.
In this scroll is the secret of our people's lives from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai.
prepared this time. Rebecca, we can't believe we are standing here with you at your bat mitzvah. How proud you must be of yourself to have reached this occasion. It seems like only yesterday we were dropping you off at Bertha Alice, and now you're taking your place as a Jewish adult in the faith. Yours has not always been the easy path, but whenever you decided to do something, you were ready to make it happen. You have a switch, and when it flips, it's all systems go. As a child, when you went ice skating, you would skate as fast as your little legs would go to get around the rink. There were lots of falls, but then you were right back up to skate fast again. When you first rode your bicycle, just on the second try you were off, not afraid of the falls that were sure to come. This process has been no different. You were worried a lot about the preparation before your studies began, but once you started, you were determined. Our wish for you is to keep driving to achieve what you desire, even if it feels unsurmountable, even if it feels overwhelming. The hardest part is taking the first step. After that, your drive will take over and carry you the rest of the way. Your Torah portion today focuses on the importance placed on caring for others in times of hardship, as well as the concept that we are just stewards, not owners of the earth. You have always had a desire to care for others and the environment. When you were a little girl, I offered to buy you a reward toy, and you could have chosen anything you wanted, but you chose a little plastic claw. You would walk around the neighborhood picking up trash on the ground, all the while shunning those who left the trash in the first place. You were a little bit like a Skittle, sometimes a sour Skittle, hard on the outside, soft in the middle. You present yourself with a who cares attitude, but if someone is sick or scared or struggling, you are the first to tend to their needs. The world needs more of tough but soft people in it. Our wish for you is that you never stop using your ability to be strong when needed, but soft to those in need. You have so many gifts to offer the world. Appreciate in yourself all the wonderful attributes that make you special. Never stop being you. We love you.
Beautiful. Okay, ready to read? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yes. Oh wait, maybe not. Sorry. Valerie, sorry. This morning we'll be reading from Parshat Bahar B'chukotai, which is from the end of the book of Leviticus. We'll be reading from Leviticus 25, starting at verse 34. To receive the honor of the first aliyah, the first set of blessings around this Torah reading, I want to invite up Rebecca's grandparents, Elisa Balke, Mike Goldberg, and Sheila Goldberg. Yamdu aliyah l'Torah. Here is your.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher b'charbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Usay migrash arhem lo imacher ki akuzat olam hu lahem vehiamu achiha umata yado ima vehekazat bo ger vetoshav vehai ima.
Okay, a blessing after right here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayolam natan b'tokenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. We'll move now to our second aliyah, our second set of blessings. We offer this aliyah as an honor to Rebecca's sister, Catherine. Ta'amod aliyah leTorah.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Amborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'nata lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Altika me'ito neshet v'tarbit ve'yabreta me'elohea ve'hei ahya imam et kasecha lo titin lo ben nesha u'marbit lo titin aglecha.
Catherine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nata lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And now for our third and final aliyah, we call Rebecca to the Torah by her Hebrew name.
Tamod, tamod, abachura bat mitzvah, Rivka bat Yakir v'chana aliyah leTorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Amborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'nata lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ani Adonai Elohim asher hotzei eti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim latei lahem et eretz Canaan liot lahem le'Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nata lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tuheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. In our books now on page 253, we'll pause for just a moment with the scroll still out before us and the words of Torah still hanging in the air around us to pause and turn our thoughts to prayers of healing. It's our custom in our congregation to pause at this point in the service to think about those in our families, those in our midst, those in our community who are in need of healing on this Shabbat morning. So as we draw all of those in need of healing toward us in prayer and in thought, with our eyes on page 253 and our hearts filled with prayer, we offer this Mishaberach together. Before we turn now to Hazel's Torah reading, we'll be switching Torah scrolls, undressing one and redressing the other. So as we do so, I want to invite Hazel and her parents back up on the bima. As they make their way up, we will be redressing the scroll. And Rebecca also, and her parents. So all four of y'all make your way up. And so as the scroll is lifted and dressed, would you please rise?
Hazel, as we've watched you grow from an adorable tiny baby to a beautiful, very tall, almost teenager, there are so many things we've come to admire about you, and we could gladly discuss these qualities for hours, but for now, here are a few that stand out.
You are an observer. You instantly know if a friend is upset, if someone is having a bad day, or if your mom is getting impatient waiting in a long line, even though she says she's not. It also feels important to mention that you're the only person in our family who always, without fail, notices when one of us gets a haircut. Immediately, upon walking into the room. You're curious about people, noticing things under the surface that others don't, which also makes you empathetic. As you meet new people and experience new adventures, may you continue observing, questioning, and having empathy for others.
You are dedicated. Whether it's learning a new dance skill, memorizing lyrics to an entire musical, or learning prayers for your bat mitzvah, you remain focused and persistent until you achieve your goal. May you continue to apply this dedication to whatever comes your way. You are funny. Your unique brand of humor is completely unpredictable. Sometimes it's a hilarious observation about a good pickle. Other times it's you eating an entire roll of bubble tape, then realizing you accidentally recorded the whole thing on video, and then casually playing it off like you meant to do it all along by inviting people to subscribe to your pretend YouTube channel. When you're in your room talking to your friends, the most common sound we hear is laughter and Hamilton, but mostly laughter. May you continue to laugh often and embrace the lighter side of life. You can read that one.
You are confident. You make friends wherever you go, take charge when situations require it, and aren't afraid to say what's on your mind. Even when you're unsure, your strong sense of self always guides you through. May you keep this confidence and always remember, exactly who you are.
As you begin your journey as a Jewish adult, we wish you a life filled with health, joy, and love, and whatever happens, please don't ever stop being you. We love you so much. Slay.
Hazel will be reading from Leviticus 26, starting with verse 3. To receive the honor of the first aliyah, we invite her brother up, Mathis Sloganwright. Would you please join us at the bima?
Yamod aliyah l'Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Amvarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Im bechukotai telechu ve'et mitzvotai tishmeru va'asitem otam v'natati gishmechem be'itam v'nana ha'aretz yavula ve'etz hasadeh yitain piryo.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata Betochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. For our second aliyah, we call Hazel's grandparents to the bima, Ellen Hamburg and Saul Hamburg.
Yamdu aliyah leTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vehisig lachem daish et batzir uvatzir yasig et zara va'achaltem lachmechem lasova vishavtem lavetach ba'artzechem v'natati shalom ba'aretz ushchavtem ve'ein macharit v'hishbati chaya ara'a min ha'aretz ve'cherev lo ta'avor ba'artzechem.
Here's your blessing after.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natananu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata Betochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Awesome. Thank you. And now for our third and final aliyah, Hazel is called to the Torah by her Hebrew name.
Tamod, Tamod, Havachura bat Mitzvah, Shena bat Avigail aliyah leTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Urdavtem et oivechem v'naflu lifnechem lecharev v'radfu mikem chamisha mea umea mikem revava yirdofu v'naflu oivechem lifnechem lecharev. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Natat B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Our Torah reading is now complete. We will prepare to move toward the reading of this morning's Haftarah. Before we do, we will be redressing the scroll, and I'll be inviting Rebecca back up to the bima. As she makes her way up and the scroll is dressed, would you please rise? Our Haftarah this morning comes from the book of the prophet Jeremiah. We're reading this morning from Jeremiah 32. Before the reading of Haftarah, we'll offer the blessing, which is in our prayer books, page 254.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar ben v'im tovim v'ratzav v'divrahim hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael u'vivei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Amen.
Va'etpalel el Adonai acharei titi et sefer hamikna el Baruch ben Nereya lemor. Adonai Elohim hinei ata asita et hashamayim ve'et haaretz bochacha hagadol uvizracha hanetuya leopalei mimcha kol davar.
Osei chesed la'alafim shalem avon avot el chek b'neihem achareihem ha'el hagadol hagibor Adonai tzevaot shemo gedol ha'etzah v'rav ha'aliliyah asher einecha v'kuchot al kol darchei b'nei adam lateit leish kirachav v'kifri ma'alalav.
Blessing after our Haftarah reading back on page 254 of our books.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'olamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'osei hamedaber umekayem jekol divarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah va'al ha'avodah va'al ha'nevi'im va'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenetata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavot u'tifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarachim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol chai tamid leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. As we prepare to return our Torah scrolls to their place in the Ark, I want to invite out Penny and Louise Kahn and Ann Karstetter and Emma Tovar to assist with the opening of those doors. They will make their way up, and as they do, I'll invite you to turn to page 256 and rise. Ki lakachto natati lachem torati al ta'azovu, for I have given you good instruction. Do not abandon my Torah. It is a tree of life for those who hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace.
Eitz Chaim hi, lama chaziki
And now to make a presentation to this morning's Benot Mitzvah, it is a pleasure for me to invite Diane Pouchette to the Bima. Diane represents this morning our congregation's leadership and board of trustees.
Rebecca and Hazel, your becoming Benot Mitzvah is a day of celebration, not just for you, but for the entire Jewish people. I am delighted to be here this morning as a representative of the Board of Trustees to wish you and your family Mazel Tov. Today marks a special event in your lives, and I want you to know how much pride the temple takes in your accomplishments, and so I have several presentations for you. First, thanks to the generosity of the Barish family and their dedication to Israel education, when you choose to remain enrolled and regularly attend upper school in our Helfman Religious School, you will have the amazing opportunity to travel to Israel with your temple friends for a free 4-week trip during the summer after your 10th or 11th grade year. Second, from Sisterhood, there is a Chai certificate indicating they have made a donation to their youth education and special projects fund in your honor. And also, Sisterhood is also presenting you with a $100 Mazel Tov Israel Savings Bond, which will mature in 5 years, about the time you graduate from high school. And finally, a personalized embossed copy of the Plout Modern Torah Commentary, in which you will always be able to look back and find your Torah portion so that you can continue to learn and study Torah. We hope that you will use it often throughout your lives. Mazel Tov to you and your family. We are very, very proud of you.
Thank you, Diane. Let's see. Okay, so Rebecca is first. Hazel, you can sit. You can sit. So this is you. Just get this stuff out of your way. Okay.
My Torah portion is called Bahar B'chutotai, which is the final portion of the book of Leviticus. It talks about different topics like the Shemitah, or the Shabbatical year, where the land was supposed to rest. It also mentions the Jubilee, where property was supposed to be returned to the original owner. But the topic that was most interesting to me was a section on helping your brother when they fall into hard times, and giving tzedakah in a way that does not embarrass the person we are giving to. According to Rabbi Joe Rook's report, this Jewish concept of tzedakah, which is based upon justice, is outlined directly in this week's Torah portion. In Bahar B'chutotai, it specifically talks about helping your brother when they fall into hard times and helping them get out of that difficult situation. The Torah uses a phrase, your brother, but I think it really means helping any people around you who are in need. I chose to focus on this because helping people who fall into hard times is the right thing to do in the eyes of God. Another important idea about tzedakah in Jewish tradition is giving in a way that does not embarrass the person receiving help. For example, a rabbi named Rambam says that it is always good to give tzedakah, but it is even better to give anonymously, because it protects the person from feeling insulted, but the best form of all is helping them get on the right path to a successful life. They can live a life that is much happier, and they won't have to ask for help again. It's kind of like the quote, give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. My Torah portion teaches us about helping people who experience difficult situations, and I have seen this power in my own life. For example, when some of my friends and I went to the mall, one of my friends was trying to buy something she has been saving up for a long time, and she was like $15 short. So I gave her the money she needed. I wanted to make the situation easier for her. Another example came on the first day of 6th grade. My best friend and I went to the same school, and we sat together at lunch. There was this one girl who was sitting all by herself. She didn't have anyone to sit with, so I invited her to sit with us. I hoped it helped her feel less alone. Caring for people does not mean just Jews. It means caring for everybody. The idea of tzedakah or justice is important. People should never be made to feel awkward or embarrassed just for needing a little extra help. Even a small act of tzedakah can go a long way in changing lives. For my Mitzvah project, I volunteered at Undies for Everybody with 2 of my friends. We spent the time sorting, folding, and packaging underwear. Undies for Everyone is an organization that gives underwear to kids whose families might not have enough money to buy it. This gives kids who cannot afford it the dignity of having a clean, fresh pair of underwear for every day of the week. For my tzedakah project, I decided to make a donation to the Eshel House. This is a Jewish organization that provides patients and families with all faiths with caring support when they when a loved one is in the hospital, including a place to stay, transportation, meals, and childcare, and a personal counseling. I chose this organization because I wanted to support people whose family members are fighting hard things like cancer. I hope my donation will help support people who are going through difficult times. There are several people who have helped me on my journey to become a bat mitzvah, and I would like to thank them. To the clergy, teachers, and staff at Helfman Religious School, thank you for helping me learn everything I need to know for my bat mitzvah. I couldn't be standing here without your help. To all my friends from camp, gym, and everywhere else, thank you for being here and supporting me. I appreciate you being there for me in the good times and bad. To all my aunts, uncles, and cousins, thank you for watching me grow up and being here for this moment. I always have fun when we are together. Nana, thank you for being here and always supporting me. You go above and beyond and spending time with us. I love our conversations over dinner and playing games with you like Rummy Cue and Uno. Granddaddy, thank you for explaining stuff I don't understand and answering all the random questions I have about math and science. Even if it takes a long time, I always learn something. Bubby, thank you for helping me prepare for my bat mitzvah and learning all my prayers. Thank you for helping me find my tali, and especially thank you for making your delicious matzo ball soup. To my grandpa Rudolph, I never got to meet you, but I know wherever you are, you're proud of me. Hazel, thank you for listening to me when I have good ideas about the party. Thank you for being patient with me when I ask you stuff about our bat mitzvah at lunch, even when you don't want to hear it. It's been a lot of fun having you by my side along this journey as we become a bat mitzvah together. Catherine, thank you for not singing when I asked you to during bat mitzvah classes. I apologize for the times I yell about it. Thank you for always saying I love you. Even if I might not say it back, I do love you. I enjoy the conversations we have in the bathroom while we're getting ready for bed. Even though they're really random, I love talking to you. Mom, I love you so much. Thank you for helping me with everything and making me practice, even if I don't want to. Thank you for helping me with my homework when I don't understand. You always explain it better than the teacher does. I love that you make the most delicious dinners every night and that you always listen to my softball games, even when you can't be there. I love you so much. Dad, thank you for logging me on to bat mitzvah classes for 6 months. Even though you may have been sleeping, you always get up and do that for me. Thank you for helping me be the best I can in everything I do and teaching me life lessons that will help me grow in ways I never expected. Thank you for driving me to softball tournaments, even if we have to wake up before dawn. I love you so much. My bat mitzvah experience has taught me that we should help people who fall into hard times because it's the right thing to do and it's what God expects of us. I plan to continue learning about being Jewish by attending upper school at Emanu. I hope to travel to Israel with my temple friends in a few years. Thank you for all coming today. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Rebecca Mazel Tov, thank you for your teaching this morning. Stay right there. I want to talk to you. I love the teaching that you offered about the section of your parsha that talks about giving tzedakah and looking out for people who are needy, people who are just in need of an extra hand, as you mentioned. And you pointed out the verse of your portion that in which God makes the commandment to Israel that they should assume a posture of generosity and charity to help your brother who is in need, as you said. And I think you appropriately and thoughtfully pointed out the big sort of ethical question about this commandment is If the Torah says we should help our brother, does that mean that we're only meant to help people that are close to us? Are we supposed to restrict our assistance only to the people that are in our family, in our neighborhood, people who look like us or live like us? And I think your answer is correct. No, we're not just supposed to help people who look like us or who are related to us. Maybe when the Torah says you should reach out your hand and help your brother, maybe what the Torah is teaching us is that when we reach out our hand to help somebody, anybody, it is that process that causes us to see that other person as if they are related to us. That it's a process of being generous and kind and compassionate to others that awakes inside of us a feeling of connectedness to others. You talked about this a little bit when you gave the example of going to sit next to the kid who is by themselves in the lunchroom. You didn't have to do that. You could have let them continue to sit by themselves and be alone, but something inside you felt connected to them. Something inside you made you feel compassionate, sympathetic to, and empathetic to the person that was by themselves. So you picked up your lunch and you went over and sat next to them. And it was, I think, I hope, I imagine, that process of sitting next to the kid that was by themselves made you feel connected to them in a way that you didn't before. There is a teaching by a Hasidic rabbi named Rabbi Shlomo of Karlin, and he says, when he's commenting on this portion, that we should think about the example of finding somebody who's fallen down into the mud. And if you want to help that person get out of the mud, it's no good to stand over them and give them a hand to pull them up. The most effective way to do it is to get in the mud next to them and help push them up. What does he mean by that? I think exactly what you elucidated in your teaching from Maimonides, that we want to give and help and assist in a way that allows the other person to retain their dignity, to help them feel like you are with them in it and not looking down on them or condescending to them by offering help. The example that you gave of looking out for people who needed help, who needed company, who needed a little financial assistance, all of those things are examples of this kind of tzedakah, because you demonstrate your willingness to stand next to somebody to help offer them help next to them rather than above them. So as you make your way into Jewish adulthood, I hope that that principle remains with you, and I hope that that spark inside of you that illuminated for you someone else's need continues to shine, that you'll keep your eyes open to ways that you can help, keep your ears attuned to people who are speaking out and needing a little bit of assistance, and keep your hands open to the ways that you can offer help and kindness and generosity to people in need. So grateful and so excited to welcome you to a Jewish adulthood. Mazel tov, I'm so proud of you. Well done. Now you can sit. And now, Hazel, I want to invite you up to the bima as well to offer us your teaching from this morning's Parsha.
My parsha is Bachar Bechukotai in the book of Leviticus, and it describes the idea that if you follow God's laws, then you will be rewarded. The parsha says that if you obey God, God will provide more rain and food than you will ever need, send peace to the land, and make your enemies fall before you by the sword. If you disobey God's laws, then you will be punished. You will never have enough food, water, shelter, or peace. There are even worse punishments than that, such as illnesses, wild beasts, military defeat, destruction of land, and cannibalism. It seems like the amount of punishment you get for disobeying God is even greater than the amount of reward you get for following God. When reading my portion, I wondered, if God is everywhere, then why don't people act like it? Why do people disobey God? Something that has happened all throughout history. Rabbi Shira Stutman says, perhaps the right question isn't where's God in that situation, but instead, even when someone else doesn't do so, how can I behave or walk in godly ways? This shows that the only thing you can control is yourself and not others. You can still do what God wants you to do, but you can't control the choices that other people make. The rewards and punishments are there to remind us that we always have a choice of how we are going to behave. You cannot control what other people say, think, or do, however, you can control yourself. I'm in middle school, and that obviously comes with a lot of drama. I have learned to try and not engage in the drama because nothing good ever comes out of it. However, sometimes I just get pulled into it. Maybe someone is arguing with a friend and then all of a sudden they are saying, hey, Hazel is talking bad about you, and now I'm in the drama because of the choice that someone else made. My Torah portion reminds me that I have to remember that I can't control what other people say or do, but I can choose how I respond. Sometimes someone's feelings are being hurt and we are somehow in it even if we didn't hurt that person. If we pile things on top of their personal life, we will make it much worse. The best thing we can do is not say anything bad. What other people say or do about it is their decision that we cannot control. What is crazy to me is the fact that the same issues I experienced with my friends were happening in the Torah many years ago. When the Torah tells us about all the blessings for following God's commandments and the curses for not following them, it is reminding us to focus on doing the right thing. It is telling us that we always have a choice about how we want to live. We cannot control anyone else's choices, but we can control our own. For my mitzvah project, I chose to bake cookies with a few of my friends to donate to the Southside Police Department and Fire Department. I chose to do this because first responders do so much for our world, and they deserve some kindness back. I had a lot of fun baking, and it made me feel accomplished when I took them to the police department. For my tzedakah project, I chose to donate to the Houston Humane Society. I hope my gift will help them buy toys and food for the animals in their shelter to enjoy. This means a lot to me because the animals there deserve the same care as any other pets. I have a rescue dog of my own, and this is what motivated me to donate to the Houston Humane Society. I would like to thank all of the people who have helped me get to where I am today and made my bat mitzvah possible. Thank you to all of the teachers, clergy, and staff at Emmanuel for helping me along my journey of becoming a bat mitzvah. You are all the reason I have learned everything I know, and I am so grateful for this experience. Thank you to my friends who have been by my side through this entire process. You are the reason I am a great person because you have all influenced me. My cousins, aunts, and uncles are also the reason I am up here on the bima today. They all have taught me how to become a better person. Thank you, Grammy and Poppy, for always being there for me. I know for the last few months, whenever we would come over for dinner on Friday nights, you would ask to hear my Torah portion, and I would always say, "You're just going to have to wait until my bat mitzvah." I hope it was worth the wait. Thank you for supporting me and also for all of our shopping days and laughs. Thank you, Nana. I love when we come to Pennsylvania during the summer and have so much fun with you, especially last summer when we went to Knoebels Grove with the whole family. It was really fun to be there again with everyone. I also want to take a moment to remember Pappy. Even though he is no longer with us, we feel his love today. I would especially like to thank my bat mitzvah partner, Rebecca. I love when you come to my lunch table every day and we have chats about our bat mitzvah because we are so excited. You have helped me with this whole process by just being there with me. I remember when we were younger and loved seeing each other at Sunday school. I'm really glad we were able to share this experience. Thank you to my brother Mathis. I love it when we randomly just start singing camp songs or the most random things and get good laughs out of it. When you had your bar mitzvah, I could not even imagine getting to this moment, but here I am. I love you so much. Thank you for all your help in this journey. Finally, I would like to thank my mom and dad. I can't even begin telling you how much I love you. Mom, I love when you pick me up at school and take me to get boba at Jade's Tea House. When I ask you to buy something, I always tell you I'll pay for it, but you always somehow end up paying for it. You are the best mom I could ever ask for, and I would never want to change a thing about you. Dad, I love how in the morning when you take me to school and I'm not talkative, you always say, "You're tired, aren't you?" I always respond with yes because you know me so well. I love the way you call me sweets because it makes me feel safe and loved. Thank you for everything. I love you so much. My bat mitzvah has taught me so much. I have learned a lot about Judaism, about my Torah portion, and all of the blessings. I am so grateful to have had this experience, and it is something I will feel accomplished about for the rest of my life. I am going to keep attending upper school so I can keep learning about my culture and go to Israel with my friends. Thank you to everyone here today for supporting me and helping me become a bat mitzvah. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Hazel, great teaching this morning, great leadership. I love getting a chance to know this Torah portion a little bit better and a little bit differently through your eyes. I love your perspective about the big questions that your portion raises, this sentence that you start your Devar Torah with where you say, if God is everywhere, how come people don't act like it? That just took the breath out of me. What a great question. I wish I knew the answer. I really wish I knew the answer to why people make the choices that they do when they make choices that are hurtful and destructive. And you asked a really important, big question that's inspired by your portion. The portion that you read as you taught all of us here this morning is one that contains a whole list of blessings and a longer list of even more gruesome curses that God threatens the people with if they don't follow what God says. In some communities, over the years, it has been a tradition when we reach this portion of the Torah that you read the blessings out loud and you read the curses in a very quiet whisper. This tradition arose, I think, because people had a very superstitious idea that if you said something bad, it would come to pass. And I think your teaching and your leadership helps fall in line with something that's very important to me, which is that our community not do the things that it does out of superstition. We don't do the things that we do because we have antiquated beliefs about saying the wrong thing that'll make something bad happen in the world. What makes good stuff happen in the world and what makes bad stuff happen in the world often is connected by the choices that we make. And I think what you said a couple of times in your portion, that we can't control what other people do, we can only control our own choices and our own attitudes, is a really, really important perspective. Among that list of blessings and curses, when you said there's all kinds of threats and promises about the crops and people's wealth and people's health and well-being, the whole list of God's promises is that if you obey what God says, you will know peace, and no one will make you afraid, is what the portion says. So normally we understand this as meaning that if you follow God's rules, war will cease, there will be peace on earth, and because there's no more war, you'll not have anything to be afraid of anymore. But I wonder if maybe what we're being taught by this is that we should start by cultivating an attitude of bravery and avoiding fear in our own selves, to be brave and courageous about doing what is right, to be brave and courageous about helping people who need to be helped, to be brave and courageous about doing the moral thing, the kind thing, the generous thing, to create that sort of world around us. And when we make that choice to act bravely, to act with moral braveness and ethical courage, then we create a world of peace. We don't sit and wait sort of superstitiously hoping for God to create peace for us. We make the choices to adjust our attitude and change our deeds to make a world that will be a peaceful, compassionate, gentle place. I don't know the answer to the big question you asked at the beginning about why people do bad things and make choices that are destructive. I don't know if any of us will truly know the answer to that question in our lifetimes. But what I do know is that when we make choices that are positive and kind and generous, we make the world we live in just a little bit kinder, just a little bit more promising to the people who will come after us. So as you enter Jewish adulthood today, you take personal responsibility for helping create that world, Jewishly and ethically as an adult in this community. I have great faith in the choices that you're going to make. I have great confidence in the attitude that I see you developing. I have great pride in the kind of Jewish adulthood you are stepping forward to inherit today. And I have great joy in sharing this bima with you as you enter Jewish adulthood today. So I want to invite Rebecca back up. I want to invite all four of your parents back up so that Cantor Simmons and I can take a moment with you before the open ark to share a moment of blessing together. As our families make their way up, I'll invite the congregation to rise.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May God bless you and keep you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May the light of God's countenance shine on you and be good to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
May God's presence remain close to you, and may you be blessed with the greatest gifts God gives, the blessings of wholeness and goodness and peace. Amen.
Amen. We continue now at the bottom of page 282 with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום
You may be seated, my friends. I want to offer just a couple of brief reminders of some upcoming highlights on our calendar before we move toward the final prayers and blessings of our service. On Thursday evening, May 25th, our community will be observing the Festival of Shavuot. At the Shavuot Festival service, we'll also be featuring this year's confirmation service. The next big milestone in the life cycle of Jewish learning and teaching. We invite you all to come and join us on Thursday evening, the 25th, to watch this year's confirmation service and take part in the Shavuot Festival service. The next morning, Friday the 26th, will be our Shavuot Morning Festival service, which will include the prayers of Yizkor at 10:30 a.m. We hope you'll join us to celebrate and to pray and to remember. And speaking of memory, this is a day of great joy for Rebecca and Hazel and their families, but as both girls mentioned in their speeches, their Divrei Torah, this is also a morning for them to remember those of their dear ones who are no longer with us in body, but who are remembered dearly today in spirit. This morning, as we prepare for Kaddish, these families are remembering R. Donald Balke, Myron Rubel, and Catherine Rubel, Sam Hamburg, Sarah Hamburg, Joseph Katz, Betty Katz, Leslie Slogan-White, Robert Shuey, and Lois Shuey. This morning as well, the hearts of our congregation go out in sadness and sympathy to the family of Sylvia Solomon, laid to rest in recent days. And so, as we remember, as we celebrate, as we look back on those whose names and whose memories surround us this morning, we turn in our prayer books to page 294, where you'll find the words of the Reader's Kaddish, and we rise to prayer together. Page 294, the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam l'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen.
Please be seated, except for Hazel and Rebecca. Come on up. We're going to move toward the blessings of Kiddush and Hamotzi. If you would please bring Catherine and Mathis with you also. We also want to invite your cousins and Hazel's close friends, Wyatt, Zoe, and India Island. As all these folks make their way up, we will offer these blessings of gratitude for this opportunity to celebrate, blessings for the food that sustains us. There's your Kiddush cup. Okay, girls, come on up.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen.
Amen. L'chaim. You can take a sip of that
Okay.
delicious grape juice. Okay, Catherine, there you go. I'll take that when you're done.
Okay. Oh, yes. You've earned it. All right, and the motzi?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. If you want to have some challah, share with your friends and siblings and cousins. We conclude our service this morning with a prayer for peace. Oseh shalom. The words are on page 343. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Would you please rise for a moment of blessing? Avinu Shebashamayim, celestial parent of us all, grant us your blessing as we go forth from this day. Surround us at all times with the blessings of learning and service. Surround us with the blessings of friendship and family. Guide us in all times in your ways towards kindness and generosity, compassion and care for those near to us and those distant as well, so that we may be your agents, making a world of tranquility and peace. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.